question. Yeah, it's fantastic. The reception has been so far. We've got to kind of translate that into bums on seats, but you know, because it's only really opened in America, and they're only there on a few screens really. So so a lot of it is hype, and obviously you hope that a hype can be transferred into people's genuine affection for the film once they've seen it and experienced it. You know, I can remember being in my kitchen reading it, thinking, bloody hell, I'm gonna do this. And the only time I've really felt exactly the same is I remember reading the first page of Trainspotting, the book, and I can see it as vividly now as I saw it then, and thought, I'm going to do this. And it's ridiculous, really, in a way, because you've read a tiny little bit, anything could be happening, it could turn into a Barbara Cartland or anything, but you just know somehow that you've been kidnapped and you're going to be on the journey. I mean, there's a guy in the film who's very experienced, Anil Kapoor and Irfan Khan, but the majority of it was obviously these kids, and there's something wonderful about that. I mean, I was quite naive going there. I didn't really know anything about the city, and I thought, why not just have actors who don't know anything really very much about acting? That's fine as well. And all these things, if you think about them rationally afterwards, you think, that's such a bad idea, don't do that. Try and fill it with a bit of experience anyway. But we didn't, you know, we just went into it in a kind of really pure way. And it's a very interesting thing to bring to that city, because there's a lot of cruelty in the city and a lot of violence and a lot of poverty, but also there are the exact opposite redeeming qualities. There's a beauty and a purity about people's spirit, openness about it. The city welcomes in everybody. It's very rare there to have such a welcoming place that everybody can live there. Doesn't matter who they are or where they come from or anything about them. And it gets hurt occasionally, as we've seen recently, but its arms will still be open. So to go with that spirit ourselves I realise in retrospect, is the right way to approach the city. You don't go into it carefully thinking, I must be careful with this, I must be careful with that, and closed and rigid. You've got to go into it quite openly, really, and ride the city to make the film. I don't have a taste regulator. I don't think, oh, I'm not going to go see that. I'm not going to go see Mamma Mia. Why would I want to watch that? I'm not like that, and Mumbai's like that. There's no taste regulator, everything goes. You just got to be up for everything. And I think that's a good instinct with films, because especially people learning, if people want to learn to make films or be in films, see everything. Because stuff that even you don't like, you learn off. You know, you're learning stuff all the time from it. And like I saw this film by a young, incredibly young, Swedish filmmaker, first-time filmmaker, called Let the Right One In. Okay. It's a vampire film. It's not Twilight, believe me. It's an extraordinary film about this young first-time filmmaker from Sweden, about these two vampires. Well, it's about a girl vampire who's about 11, 12, and this boy that she starts this relationship with who's 11, 12. It's an extraordinary film. And that kind of thing, you just think, wow, I should try and, I should burn the negative of that film, because he's clearly going to take over the world and be the world's best filmmaker. But then the real part of you says, no, it's absolutely wonderful, we should celebrate that. And stuff like that, you just stay open to as much as possible.